One Piece chapter 1020. Now I will say that it's good to have One Piece back again because I felt like we've had a lot of breaks in the last couple of weeks, which were made even longer due to Shonen Jump having their regular yearly breaks. So yeah, this month was really dreadful in terms of getting chapters, but again, Oda deserves every bit of it. Now this chapter can be broken down in 3 sections. Now again, just like the previous chapter, we didn't really get much substance. It was just more so progression of things playing out, but the majority of the chapter, and I think the main focus, was obviously Robin versus Black Maria, which makes a lot of sense because we've gotten rid of most of the Flying Six and those guys have been taken care of, and it's pretty much just Black Maria left. Now again, I will mention that these guys are ancient Zoans, so they should know that these guys are gonna eventually regain consciousness, which will be a problem for the Alliance right now. So someone needs to sea stone these guys after they're defeated. Now there's also Who's Who to be worried about here, but we don't know his condition as of right now. He seemingly got knocked out from the attack, from that attack from Jinbei last time we saw him, so we don't know his condition, but he should be knocked out. But again, there might be more to that sun god lore that we were getting before. But for the most part, Black Maria is the last of the Flying Six, and I think after the scuffle, we're gonna deviate to the calamities and see how those battles are gonna resolve as well. And I think when those battles resolve, that's when we're gonna see Luffy versus Kaido round 3, which should be amazing because not only are we going to get new stuff with Luffy regarding his Hara, possibly Gear 5, but also a potential flashback that we might get with Kaido as well. Initially, I thought we were going to see that flashback with Yamato, but I'm starting to doubt that. But it is still possible that we might get little tidbits here and there, as that is usually how Oda operates, and then it carries over to when Luffy fights Kaido, because Kaido obviously sees something within Luffy that is comparable to the legends that he respects, and that could easily lead way to a flashback with Rocks and those guys. But before we start, I'd appreciate it if you dropped a like on this video and subscribe if you're new here. Now the chapter starts off with Yamato and Kaido fighting, and for the most part Yamato has been holding her own against Kaido, but she's obviously more on the defensive side of things because she's taking more damage. Kaido seems to be relatively okay. Now we finally get a reveal of her Devil Fruit ability, which turns out to be a Wolf mythical zone type, like a lot of us speculated. A lot of people were saying the Kirin, but again, I didn't really see the relationship between those two based on its design. Now interestingly, this fruit apparently is very valuable based on Kaido's words here, which is no surprise because mythicals are always powerful in some way, shape, or form. Now we don't necessarily know what specifically makes it powerful, but based on what Yamato was doing in this chapter and how she has like ice breath that was able to clash equally against Kaido's Boro breath, there's obviously more to this Devil Fruit's potential, and its mythical ability seems to be ice related, which ties in well because it seems like she's a white snow wolf of sorts. Now Kaido also mentions here that the Makami is Wano's guardian deity, and because of that, it is Yamato's job to protect Wano, which is funny coming from Kaido because that is exactly what Yamato was doing. Now I did read a little bit about the Makami, and apparently the Makami was worshipped as a deity who has the ability to know the true nature of a person, and it also protects the good and punishes the wicked. And it says here that it particularly protects people from hardships that are related to robbery or fire, which again could be tied to Kaido in a sort of symbolic sense, in which Kaido, is the individual who robbed Wano of its freedom, and we also know Kaido has fire related abilities as well, so that could be the symbolism behind the fruit, and there could be more things to it as well. Now obviously Oda is holding back on the backstory between Yamato and Kaido, and I think it's only after Black Maria is taken care of is when we're gonna get this backstory, mainly because I think it's probably going to take a full chapter and possibly 2 or 3 chapters dedicated to Kaido and Yamato. And from what it seems like, Oda seems to be putting more emphasis on the Flying Six at this point in time. Ever since we had the Who's Who chapter, I think Oda at this point in time is trying to wrap everything up with the Flying Six before he moves on. Now we move on to Robin's side of things here, in which she's having some sort of illusionary technique being used on her that's making her see individuals from her past, and in this case her mom, Clover, and Soul. Now Robin, knowing that this is fake, attacks back, and it turns out these individuals are underlings of Black Maria, one of them being a number and the other 2 being smile users that we've seen before. I think we've seen these guys when Sanji got lured by them. But apparently Black Maria has some sort of ability that creates illusions based on one's memories. Not exactly sure how she's doing it, but it could be folklore related. I believe there's a spider yokai in Japanese folklore that is able to shapeshift, so maybe that's what Oda is going for here. Brook also mentions how this place seems to be haunted haunted, which again perfectly ties in with the yokai aspect. Now, for the most part, Brook and Robin seems to be running away given Black Maria's physical advantage here. So for Brook and Robin, this battle seems to be more strategy based, where they can't really face her head on unless Robin shows us a new level with her Devil Fruit ability, which she kind of hinted towards the end. And Brook and Robin do also seem to have really good coordination. It's kind of a perfect balance in terms of their abilities and how it fares against Black Maria. Brook seems to be really good at dealing with the yokai related stuff and those kind of abilities, and Robin with her abilities focuses more on the physical aspect. Now interestingly, Sanji does get some hype in this chapter, in which Black Maria starts to downgrade Sanji and berate him, and how Sanji is pretty much the laughing stock of the island right now because of his actions a couple of chapters ago. But here Robin refers to Sanji as one of the wings that will allow the Pirate King to soar, essentially saying that Sanji is a component just as important as Zoro. Now all the Straw Hats are important, but Zoro and Sanji are key individuals that elevates Luffy. I do want to say it's also great having a Straw Hat give hype to another Straw Hat, because moments like this really goes to show how much respect each of them have for each other, right? And Sanji's actions in this case had a great effect on Robin, which motivates her to fight even harder. And here we get to see Robin use a new ability to create a bigger version of herself, and I honestly think she has more to show, but we'll see what happens. Now I do wonder if this battle is going to have some substance to it in terms of it having lore or something that has importance, kind of in the same light as Who's Who, and how we kind of got the sun god lore from him. It would be interesting if we got something like that from Black Maria as well, maybe pertaining to Kaido's race or something of that nature. But we'll see how things play out, because this battle should be the focus moving forward. And finally, we end off the chapter with Luffy and Momo back on Wano. Luffy seemingly is close to recovering, and his goal right now is to get back on Onigashima as Kaido is still active. This also basically confirms that Onigashima is pretty much on land at this point. It's really not that far away from the shore. So we know for sure that this battle will most likely conclude on mainland Wano. Whether Onigashima falls or not, we're not sure, but we do know that just like every arc, the citizens always witness the defeat of the villain. Kaido here is no exception. And just like a lot of people speculated, it seems like Momo will be the person to fly Luffy up there, which should be a moment for Momo, because we know that he's scared of heights, and also the fact that he's probably scared to return to meet Kaido, right? This is going to be a hurdle Momo must overcome, so that's going to be great for his character, and it could probably lead to him having more control over his Devil Fruit ability and potentially show us more things Momo has to offer, as he is very special. Now we end off the chapter with Caribou, and he seems to be rooting for Luffy, because if Luffy doesn't win, he never gets to leave. But Caribou still being here kind of triggers that theory of Shirahoshi back again. We know that he's one of the only people to know that Shirahoshi is Poseidon, so I wonder how that's going to come into play. You know, perhaps through Big Mom or even Kaido, we're not sure, right? But him coming back into the story here, there's a lot that can come out of this, in which Shirahoshi's origins might be revealed. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Comment down below what you guys think. I'd appreciate it if you dropped a like on this video. You can follow me on Twitter at Veraspace, and subscribe for more One Piece content on this channel. It is Pharaoh, guys, and I will see you folk later. Peace.